Hello guys and welcome back to another UCL Fantasy video. Today I'm going to present to you my deadline tips for the upcoming Matchday 14. This is the second leg of the quarterfinals and we have to prepare for some very important fixtures. Some of the teams are already through. On paper they're not, but basically they are. And for others it's going to be do or die. Of course, those teams that are true may prompt some rotation, and I'm going to discuss that rotation when we get to the lineup and when we discuss the captaincy options, which is going to be the first segment of this video. After that, I'm going to showcase to you my final team. Of course, that team will change most probably on the deadline stream, as I would want to have the best information possible, and I will try to save all of my transfers up until then. If you want to support me and show your appreciation, please subscribe to the channel. It's completely for free, so if you can do it, it will mean the world to me. I'm trying to reach 3.4k as soon as possible. The main goal is 5k, but let's do it step by step. 3.4k, I think it's quite possible for you guys to reach it, so go and prove me right. Here is my list for day one captaincy options, but this list may change rapidly. So first of all, we will know which of those players are starting so we can get the best strategy possible. But at the end of the day, I worry that someone like Lewandowski will be rested. Of course, I've seen in the past when Flick has been resting him when the fixture is known and they don't have to fight for anything. But of course, that's not for certain. There are rumors that there are going to be 3 changes since the first week, and Lewandowski is rumored to be one of them. Inigo Martinez is rumored to be the second, and after that, it's everyone guess. It can be Yamal because he needs a little bit of a rest. It can be Kunde, who hasn't missed a game in 100 games for club and country, so maybe he's given a little bit of a rest. Of course, that is all speculation, but we'll know the truth and the answer for that question, so we don't have to guess. It's away from home and they are already through, but Borussia will be trying to score at least 1 or 2 goals, and on the counter, someone like Rafi is going to be a very strong player to target. Of course, that may change. Of course, that may not be true, but if the first game is something of what I expect to happen, I expect it to happen even more, because as mentioned, Barcelona will be just waiting, and on the counter, I think that they're going to be very solid. I will be going most probably for another player from Barcelona from the wings, being Yamal if he starts, or even Torres if he doesn't. I don't know if it's going to be risky or not, but why I shouldn't take that risk. He might be on penalties when Lewandowski is out of the squad, so yeah, it gets a little bit interesting there, but everything will be known on deadline. Dembele and Kvara, I think those are the 2 best captaincy options from PSG. Kvaratskhelia was amazing in the first fixture, and I feel so stupid not going for him. I recommended him to everyone basically around my league and on the stream, but at the end of the day, I didn't go with him. He proved me wrong when I thought that he wouldn't start both games. Probably there's a chance he doesn't start, but I honestly don't see it. I think they will be full speed ahead and they will be trying to win that fixture comfortably. 7.5, he's the cheapest of the bunch, but I think that he can deliver massively. Dembele being their striker, and Doe, of course, is another player that's interesting to monitor, but I think Dembele is irreplaceable. I know that he has been quiet in the first fixture, but I think that moving forward into the second one, I think that it's going to be pretty interesting. I think that Barcelona are already through. I think that PSG are 75% through, unless Aston Villa decides to surprise every one of us out there, but I honestly don't see it. So yeah, I think Dembele and Kvara are very solid options, but I'll most probably go for one of the wingers from Barcelona. Whoever starts, I will be going for him. Maybe even Ferran Torres is an option if he starts, as he has proven himself to score some really good goals and to take his chances very well. Now, day 2 is the more interesting day. If you ask me, I think most of the teams here have a chance. Yes, Real Madrid's chance is slim, but you never should write off Real Madrid in the Champions League. I know that it's a very long stretch for them to do absolutely anything in that fixture, as Arsenal are leading comfortably 3-0, but in my eyes, if someone is capable of making a such a comeback, that is Real Madrid. Of course, Mbappe being the prime player to target, he is suspended for the next World League fixture, and he played only 40 minutes in the previous one, so I think he's going to be full strength ahead. Of course, Vini is another player that played around 40 minutes in La Liga, but will be used in the next fixture, but I don't think they will care about that. They will be full speed ahead with Mbappe at 11.1. I think that he is the best option to captain from that Real Madrid side. And if someone else says something else, I think that he's speculating. He's on penalties after Vini missed two. He's the central guy there. He has been in the better form compared to Vini, so I quite fancy Mbappe for the position as a captain for day 2. Saka, I think, is the obvious player to go from Arsenal. Of course, Declan Rice scored 2 free kicks in the reversed fixture, but I don't think that's going to repeat itself. Just watch it how I make a mistake here, but I think Saka is the best option to go from that front. Lautaro Martinez, yes, from Inter Milan at home against Bayern Munich. I think that Inter will go through, and by doing that, I think that Martinez will be very vital for my team and for my selection. 9.4, it's a very good price. You can easily afford him, even if you don't have him at the moment. He is not on penalties, but he's their main man, and if Çalhanoğlu is not on the field, he should probably take those penalties, so I think he's another great option. Harry Kane, there are rumors that he's slightly injured, but I think he will be playing no matter what. This is the most important game for Bayern Munich, as they almost certainly won the Bundesliga. So yeah, Harry Kane will want to win a tournament, and the final being in Munich, I think helps massively. Of course, if they fumble the Bundesliga and UCL, it's going to be something unexplainable in my opinion, but for now I really do believe that Harry Kane is a great option to move forward. And if he proceeds to the next round, he will be one of the few options in the striker position that we can get and that we can afford. But I really do believe that Inter Milan are going to go through. Now let's go and see how my team is looking. The best day captain for me is Barcelona winger. Day 2 is Mbappe. So let's go and see if I have those players and what I'll be aiming for. So here is my team from yesterday, and this team looks alright on paper. I think that I'm happy with most of the players, and I will not be doing anything rush here. I'll just have to adjust a little bit of the side. So starting in goalkeeper's position, sadly I cannot do any transfers there because I don't think it matters. I will be going with Zomer for day 2. Raya away to Real Madrid is too much in my eyes, and I'm not going to go for him. So they stay. The 2 players from PSG stay, as I really do believe that they will be starting. There are rumors that Kim has a slight issue, but just like Kane, I think that he will just go and play because they need that fixture and they need to win it. And Kim, with them struggling so much in the defensive department, Upamecano being out, I don't see Eric Dyer and someone else from that side to go and to do anything in that sense. So if we go and check all positions, defenders, and if we pick Bayern Munich, it's Upamecano and Davis are out, so it's Dyer and Kim and no one else. Like, there is Stanisic, there is Bowie, there is Kimmich that can play there, but I don't see in that important fixture someone apart from Kim starting that fixture. So Kim survives another week. Koundé is an interesting pick, but even if he's benched, I'm not going to take him out because that would mean me wasting a transfer on the reverse fixture. If Koundé is benched, this Guerrero guy becomes a Barcelona defender, and by the rumors that Baude is injured and Inigo Martinez will be rested, I think that Kubarsi is the only guy that makes sense here. You're going to say, but why are you selling Guerrero? He can play as a cam. Yes, he can. And it's not a necessity for me to sell him, of course, but it's a thing that I'm highly considering. But let's say Guerrero is a position that I would want to swap. Vitinha stays in the team, penalty taker for PSG. Good to have him. Saka, penalty taker from Arsenal, stays there. Dembele stays there. Rafi, even if he's benched, he stays there. Ulize is a player that I'll be looking to swap because I want to attack the fixtures. And if we go back and we go to midfielders and then we get Barcelona. Here we can get, it can get interesting. So someone like Yamal is a very solid option. He finished last week with 9 points. I think that he will be playing once again in that side. Another player is Ferran Torres, that I really do enjoy, and I think can do some damage. Of course, the only goals that he scored were against Borussia Dortmund, nonetheless, but still he might not be that exciting, so I'm most probably going to go for the winger that starts. Of course, there is a chance that Fati starts and almost starts, as almost back into the squad, but for me it's not that interesting, so it's probably going to be Yamal, and up front Girassi I think will go out. Mbappe is staying 1,000,000% because of that day 2 captaincy, and Lewandowski, if he is injured, I have the possibility to sell, not injured but out of the squad, I have the possibility to sell him. Of course that will be a waste of transfer and that will not be ideal to say, but at the end of the day I think that this can help a lot of things in the lineup. Of course I'm selling 4 players and I have only 3 free transfers, so one of them will have to survive. If that's going to be Guerrero, fair, but most probably the one that is going to survive is Lewandowski, because even if something happens, Girassi can survive also, don't get me wrong, because it's only one Dortmund player, so at the end of the day we will sell him. So maybe Girassi survives and I sell Lewandowski for someone like Lautaro Martinez, and I do this. If Girassi starts and Leva doesn't, why the hell I shouldn't sell Leva? I will get him back next week instead of Girassi. Of course that's a book transfer, so if I do that, here it will be Yamal, someone like Yamal. And finally here is going to be, let's not put Kubarsi right now because I would probably want one more Inter Milan defender, but that Inter Milan defender that I want is going to be Dumfries. If he is fit, even if he isn't, I think it's going to be okay. Di Marco, there are rumors that he has recovered from an injury, and sadly we won't know the lineups there, so I cannot afford to make a guess here. Someone like Pacho is an option, and this can allow me to do great things in a sense. And my favorite probably thing to do is to just get Kubarsi and be done with it. Get the Barcelona defender that plays every game when he is not suspended. So Kubarsi is in a sense one of the better players to do so, especially if Kunde is benched. If Kunde isn't benched, I'm deliberating should I pick someone like Bastoni, but Bastoni is 1 yellow card from suspension, and if he's suspended I'll have to take care of him. So right now, if let's say Borussia go out, I'll have to take Girassi. If Real or Arsenal, so let's see the worst case scenario, it's Arsenal, and then if it's Bayern Munich or Inter, the worst case scenario is once again 2 players, so 5 players at the moment. That's why I think I'll be going for someone like Kubarsi, and I'll be finalizing the squad that way. Of course, Lewandowski then in the next fixture will return either for Girassi or for Mbappe, depending if Mbappe is in the tournament. If Mbappe is in, Saka will be out, so I'll be freeing up the budget from here, and here it will be Leva, and I'll have even 9.57 million to even keep Saka if I want to keep him, but nonetheless I'll be okay. So I'm covering the worst cases scenarios. Of course there is another option to risk it heavily and here to recover this, but no, I cannot afford that, so I cannot afford here to go Harry Kane, so that's sad. I'm missing some millions, but Yamal can easily be downgraded to someone like Pedri. Nope, it cannot be. De Jong. Yeah, De Jong is an option. Gavi, yeah, but probably I'm not going with Lautaro and Harry Kane. So Girassi survives here. It's going to be either, if Lewandowski is benched, I'll start Lautaro here, and that will be the end of it. Here it will be Yamal if he starts, of course. And here it will be Kubarsi, of course, if he starts. But I think both of them start, and I will have 15 playing players, probably from the beginning. And yeah, only 1 Bayern Munich, 2 Inter Milan, but I can always rely on a non-playing keeper. If they go out accidentally, of course, there is another option that I might consider, that is going to go Harry Kane here. That is going to get me Curam here. And that is going to keep me Guerrero here. And that would mean for sure I will have to take 3 players and 1 Mbappe, so it's not the end of the world still. But yeah, I have options, all depending on how the fixtures go. I can even keep Girassi, but that would mean 1 more player to go out, so it's either 2 or 3, which is not ideal. Here it's 1 or 2. I think Barcelona and them are true, but the most probable thing that is going to happen is going to be Martinez, and at the back is what happened, and in the back is going to be Kubarsi. That is the most likely scenario for my team, stacking up on the quarterfinals and be done with it. But yeah, that would leave me with only 1 place for an Arsenal defender, which is not ideal, but against PSG, yeah, it's going to be an Inter Milan defender. Let's be real. And yeah, probably Leva will be downgraded to Giras if Leva doesn't start. But yeah, I think I have a beautiful solution for my team. I hope that you liked it. If you do, please share it down below. If you do, or if you don't, it would mean the world to me. But yeah, I think that my lineup is cleaning up a little bit and I am surviving pretty well without having any chips in the bank. As per usual, a special shout out to the members of the channel, Seth Foreign, Oscar Scouser, Hem, Dmitro. Thanks so much for being members of the channel. If you guys want to become members, here are the prizes. You help me grow massively. If you cannot afford it or you just don't want to spend some money, you can go and subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world to me and it will help me grow exponentially bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and I can help more and more people reach their full potential. Thanks so much for watching. Of course, there is going to be a deadline stream. I plan to make it as long as possible so we can discuss as many topics as possible. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you for being part of the community. But for now, guys, I'll be heading out. Bye.